Yo, what's up? Nick here, giving you a sneak peek into what I'm reading today. This thick motherfucker. Greek. Where are we at? Greek Myths by Robert Graves. Really in-depth book into the Greek myths and their cultural origin. So, here are some of the highlights that I have got today. We're just at the beginning, so we just have the beginning of the Greek myths. I started with something like the Mother Sky or the Mother of all things, who birthed the silver egg, who created the earth, wind, and fire, and all that shit. And then Uranus was like the king of all gods. Then his son Kronos came along, and with a sickle, sliced the fucking balls off that dude, dropped in the ocean. Some shit came from those balls. Uranus did his thing, died, and then Kronos was king of everything for a while. And then Kronos, it was predicted that he would be dethroned by his son, one of his sons, so he ended up eating all of his sons. And until Rhea, his wife, hid Zeus by throwing him down a river, giving him to Mother Earth. Zeus got nurtured and then came back in disguise as a cupbearer for Kronos, poisons Kronos, makes him throw up, and all of his brothers come up and they start like some big civil war, and eventually Zeus triumphs and Zeus is king of everything. Now, funny thing, Zeus is predicted to be overthrown as well. So he ends up eating one of his lovers. He ends up marrying his sister. What else does he do? He's very lustful. He goes around and fucks everything. I think he fucks his mom too. Yeah, crazy shit. So by this time, he's had sex with his whole family, and yeah, he's like, "I'm Zeus, bitch," and that's about where I'm at as far as the actual storytelling. What's cool about this book, The Greek Myths by Robert Graves, is that he gives the background, all the alternate stories or myths that go along with it, and the cultural happenings, what is most likely happening at the time. So, for example, there's like pre-Hellenic myth and post-Hellenic myth, where after like the Hellenic people came and conquered, Greece. And he shows also all the connections with the other myths of the same sort of regions. He shows the cultural connections to the myths that the people had from the archaeological artifacts. And what also is really cool is there's a lot of common themes in this book, or in Greek myths, that run throughout our culture, which we're not quite aware of anymore. And it's kind of cool to see where all these references from all these stories come from. For example, after Zeus defeated Kronos, he got one of the horns from one of his caretakers. And it was the cornucopia horn that was always full with food and whatever, food and drink or whatever inside the horn. It was always plentiful. And I remember that showing up in the Chronicles of Narnia. Basically the exact same thing, minus the Zeus part. But these kind of ideas are reverberating through our society, and I think it's really cool to see the base of it. Moreover than that, there's also a point where Hera, Zeus's wife, I don't know. There's a lot of symbolical stuff that symbolizes the state of the people and where they were at, and then the political correlations with how the myths evolved and changed, and how the stories were told depending on who was conquering whom, and what interests were in power at the time. They kind of rewrote the myths in their favor, or to say what they want to say, or even as a history of what happened from their point of view. So, really cool stuff to read. I'll update you very soon, and have a good day. Peace.